The Tinker case involves the right to the freedom of speech within the First Amendment. The Tinker side involved Mary Beth Tinker, Hope Tinker, and Paul Tinker, as well as their friend Christopher Eckhart. Their opposition was the Des Moines School District. This case took place during the Vietnam War, which lasted from 1955 until 1975. The actual court case went from 1966 to 1968. In December of 1965, Robert Kennedy called for a Christmas truce in Vietnam. Students around the country decided to support this call by wearing black armbands to mourn for the dead on both sides of the war. After learning of the students' plan to wear the armbands, the principals of the Des Moines school created a policy that stated if any student were to wear an armband, that they would be asked to remove it immediately, and failure in doing so would result in a suspension. After debating among themselves, the students decided to go through with the protest. After being suspended, the students did not return to school until after New Year's Day, the planned end of the protest. After some time had passed, the Iowa Civil Liberties Union approached the family and agreed to help them with a lawsuit. The Tinker side argued that the regulation violated their right to freedom of speech under the First Amendment because the wearing of the armbands was a form of symbolic speech. They believed that the students' right of expression was violated. On the other hand, the Des Moines School District argued that the regulation was a reasonable exercise of its power to preserve order in the classroom and that its purpose was to prevent disruption and not suppress expression. The Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Tinker family by a 7-2 vote. The court found that the actions of the Tinkers in wearing armbands did not cause disruption. The court decided that their activity represented constitutionally protected speech. The majority of the court stated that students do not lose their First Amendment rights to freedom of speech when they simply stepped onto school property. They also decided that no interference in school had occurred whatsoever. The minority of the court, which ruled in favor of the Des Moines School District, said that the First Amendment doesn't provide the right to express any opinion at any time. They also mentioned that the appearance of armbands distracted students from their work. The majority of the court also decided that the administrators would have to demonstrate constitutionally valid reasons for any specific regulation of freedom of speech in the classroom. In order for schools to make these type of decisions, it was ruled that they needed a valid reason. Therefore, the court ruled in favor of the Tinkers by a vote of 7-2. In this case, their symbolic speech was constitutionally protected. However, in other court cases, this has not been so. For instance, in the Morse v. Frederick case, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the school and not the student. In this case, the court decided that his symbolic speech would not be constitutionally protected. Six years after the Tinker case, the court ruled that schools may suspend a student for misconduct only after providing some fair procedures for determining whether the misconduct actually occurred. Also, the court in Tinker explicitly declined to deal with the constitutionality of school regulations dealing with hair length, clothing type, and other aspects of personal appearance, which include expressive content. They avoided this subject matter so that they didn't set a precedent for the topic. As a final summary, in the Tinker v. Des Moines School District case, the court ruled 7-2 in favor of the Tinkers. They ruled in favor of the Tinkers because they felt that their constitutional right to symbolic speech had been violated. Thank you for watching.